The study smells like leather and old money. Marcus Santoro stands at the window, rosary beads wrapped around his knuckles tight enough to hurt. Below him, Boston spreads out in the early morning dark, all concrete and glass and sleeping bodies who will never know his name. The city looks peaceful from up here. That is a lie he stopped believing years ago. Behind him, footsteps echo on marble. 12 agents, maybe more. He does not turn around. There is no point. He knew they were coming the moment he made the call 3 weeks ago. The moment he chose his daughter over everything else his father built. Special Agent Rebecca Torres clears her throat. Professional. Cold. He has heard that voice before, in interrogation rooms and wire recordings and late-night phone calls where she offered him deals he always refused. Until now. Marcus Santoro, you are under arrest for racketeering, conspiracy, money laundering. Her voice carries the weight of 6 years building this case. 6 years watching him, waiting for him to break. You have the right to remain silent. He watches his reflection in the window glass, 38 years old, gray already threading through his hair at the temples. His father went gray at 45. Marcus beat him by 7 years. The crown came with a price. It always does. I know what I did. His voice comes out steady. Marines taught him that. Keep your voice level when the world is burning. I will come quietly, but I need one thing first. Torres moves closer. He can see her reflection now, gun still holstered but hand resting on it. Trust but verify. That is the FBI way. You are not negotiating. My daughter's 5th birthday is tomorrow. He turns now, meeting her eyes. Dark brown, hard as stone. She lost someone to his world once. A cousin, he heard. Civilian casualty in a shootout he had nothing to do with, but she blames him anyway. Maybe she is right to. Let me say goodbye, then I will give you everything. Every account, every name, every operation, but I get to hug my daughter first. The other agents shift, hands on weapons. They think he will run. He sees it in their eyes, that coiled tension, waiting for him to do something stupid. He is a mob boss. That means dangerous. That means unpredictable. They do not know him at all. Torres studies his face for a long moment, looking for the lie. She will not find one. He stopped lying the day he decided to tear down everything his father spent 40 years building. Lies are for men who still believe the empire matters more than the soul. You get 10 minutes, she says finally. Supervised, no tricks. He nods once, short, military, no tricks. The handcuffs feel cold against his wrists, metal biting skin. He has put these on other men before, traitors, rats, men who broke the code. Now he is the one in chains. The irony tastes like copper and shame. They lead him past family photos on the wall. His father, Dominic Santoro, standing in front of the restaurant that was never just a restaurant. His mother, Angela, on her wedding day, young and beautiful and blind to what she was marrying into. And him, age 6, first communion, white suit and candle in hand. He believed in saints back then, in prayers that got answered, in fathers who did not build kingdoms on broken bones. The clock on the mantel says 6:47 a.m. Bella will still be asleep. Natalie, too, probably in the small apartment in Southie where she thinks he does not know she lives. He has been watching from a distance for 5 years, paying her rent through shell companies, making sure Bella's preschool gets anonymous donations, keeping them safe the only way he knows how, from far away, where his world cannot touch them. But distance only works if no one knows you care, and Vincent Calabrese knew. Vin always knew. The black SUV idles in the driveway. Dawn breaking over the north end, turning the sky the color of a fresh bruise. Purple and gray and sick with coming light. This neighborhood raised him. Cobblestone streets and Italian grandmothers and the smell of baking bread from bakeries that have been here since his great-grandfather's time. Good people, hard-working. And underneath it all, the current that kept them safe. The network his father built. The family business. The crown he inherited, the crown he is about to throw away. 6 years earlier, the study smelled different. Flowers and grief and too many people in expensive suits saying empty words. His father's funeral filled the house to bursting. Every major family sent representatives. The Irish from Southie, the Russians from Brighton, even the Italians from New York, old commission members who remembered when Dominic Santoro was more than a name. He was power. Marcus wore his Marine Corps dress blues to the service. Not a suit, never a suit. He came home from Iraq with an honorable discharge and a spine that would not bend. Not for tradition, not for family, not for the business everyone expected him to inherit like it was some kind of birthright written in blood. The church was standing room only. St. Leonard's, where his father was baptized and married and now blessed one final time. Father Dominic Russo gave the eulogy, called him a pillar of the community, a man who protected his people, charitable, devoted, a loving husband and father. All true and all lies. Dominic Santoro was those things. He was also the man who ordered 3 rivals killed in 1987, who ran numbers and protection rackets and drug shipments up from Florida, who built an empire that looked legitimate on the surface but bled corruption underneath like a wound that never healed. Marcus stood in the front pew, his mother clutching his arm so tight she left marks. Angela Santoro, 72 years old and dressed in black like a costume she had been wearing her whole life. Mob wife, widow, woman who knew everything and said nothing and somehow thought that made her innocent. "Your father would be proud," she whispered during communion. "You came home, you are here." He did not tell her he was only there to bury him, not to replace him. After the burial, the family lawyer called a private meeting, just close family and key associates. The study, where his father used to smoke cigars and make phone calls that decided whether businesses lived or died. The room felt smaller now, darker, like the walls were closing in. Vincent Calabrese was already there. Vin, 45 years old, built like a brick wall, with eyes that never stopped calculating angles. He saved Marcus's life once in Fallujah when an IED flipped their convoy and insurgents started shooting. Pulled him from burning metal while rounds kicked up dust all around them. Civilian contractor, technically non-combatant, but he ran into fire anyway because Dominic Santoro asked him to watch over his son, and Vin never forgot a debt. "Sit," Vin said, not a suggestion. Marcus remained standing. Marines do not take orders from civilians, even ones who saved their lives. The lawyer cleared his throat. Old man, 80 if he was a day, with hands that shook when he opened the folder. "The last will and testament of Dominic Santoro. To my wife Angela, the estate and all legitimate holdings. To my son Marcus, the family business. All territories, all operations, and all debts both owed to us and owed by us." The words hung in the air like smoke. Family business. Pretty words for ugly things. "I do not want it," Marcus said. Simple, direct. The way he learned to talk in the Corps, no wasted words. "Sell it, dissolve it, donate it to charity, I do not care." His mother gasped. Vin did not move, did not blink, just watched with those calculating eyes, running numbers Marcus could not see. "It is not that simple." Vin's voice came out soft, dangerous soft, the kind of quiet that preceded violence. "Your father made promises. 200 families depend on this organization. Widows, orphans, old-timers who gave their whole lives to this thing. You walk away, they starve. Find another boss." "You are the boss, blood succession. The commission already voted, unanimous." Marcus looked at his mother. She would not meet his eyes. She always knew what would happen when his father died. The crown passes, son to son, blood to blood, like a curse you cannot outrun. "If I refuse?" Then the other families see weakness. Vin stood now, moving to the window. Same window where Marcus would stand 6 years later watching the FBI come for him. They will move in, take our territory, and everyone connected to the Santoro name becomes a target. Your mother, your cousins, the families who depend on us. War, Marcus. That is what you get if you walk away. Blood in the streets. The math was simple, brutal. 200 innocent families or his clean conscience. The needs of the many or the wants of the one. He learned that calculus in Iraq, when you have to choose who lives and who dies, when there are no good options, only less terrible ones. I get 2 years, he said finally, to transition everything legitimate, close down protection rackets, end the drug trade, convert the family to legal business only. Vin's jaw tightened. The other families will not agree. Then you make them agree. That is your job. I am the Don, but I will not be the kind of Don my father was. He saw disappointment in his mother's eyes, disapproval in Vin's. They wanted Dominic Santoro reborn, strong, feared, willing to do whatever it took to protect the family, but Marcus had seen enough violence for one lifetime. Iraq taught him that power built on fear only breeds more fear, an endless cycle. Someone has to break it. Even if it breaks you in the process. The commission meeting happened 3 days later. Neutral ground. Private room at a restaurant in the North End where the walls were thick and the owner knew to be deaf and blind. 5 families, 5 representatives, the Irish, the Russians, 2 Italian branches from Providence and New York, and the Santoros. Marcus wore a suit this time. Respect, even if he hated everything the suit represented. They talked for 3 hours. Territories, percentages, tributes, words that sounded like business but meant extortion and violence and human suffering reduced to spreadsheets. He sat through it all, stone-faced, giving nothing away. Marines called it bearing, the ability to show no emotion while everything inside you screams. In the end, they gave him what he asked for, 2 years to transition. But there were conditions. He had to maintain neighborhood protection, the old school function, make sure businesses stayed safe, keep rival gangs out, provide jobs, all the things his father did that looked charitable from the outside but came with strings attached. And he could never cooperate with law enforcement. Death sentence if he did, no exceptions. The commission had existed for 60 years on one simple rule. We do not talk to cops, ever, for any reason. He agreed to all of it, shook hands with men whose fingers were stained with blood, became the thing he swore he would never be. Don Marcus Santoro, age 32, youngest boss in 3 generations. The crown felt heavier than he imagined. 6 months into his reign, someone tried to kill him, not rival family, one of his own. Soldier loyal to the old ways, who thought Marcus's reforms made them weak. The hit happened outside a restaurant in Southie, broad daylight, amateur hour. The shooter's hands shook so bad the bullet only grazed Marcus's shoulder instead of punching through his skull. His guys grabbed the shooter, waited for orders. Old rules said beatings. New rules said police. Marcus chose a third option. Let him go, he is done with us. If I see him again, then we have a problem. The shooter ran. His guys looked confused. Vin looked furious. Weakness, his eyes said. You are showing weakness. But Marcus was bleeding and tired, and the wound hurt like fire under his jacket. He needed a hospital, not a mob doctor, a real one, with actual medical degrees and ethics and a chance he might survive the night without infection. Boston Medical Center, emergency room. Saturday night, which meant chaos. Gunshot wounds and overdoses and car accidents all competing for space. He walked in under his own power, hand pressed to his shoulder, blood seeping between his fingers. The triage nurse barely looked up. Name. Marcus Santoro. That got her attention. She knew the name. Everyone in Boston knew the name. But she was professional, waved him through, told him to wait in curtain 3. The doctor who treated him was not what he expected. Young, late 20s maybe, dark hair pulled back in a ponytail, scrubs that had seen better days, no makeup, no jewelry, just exhaustion and competence and eyes that had seen too much to be impressed by a mob boss bleeding on her exam table. "Gunshot wound," she said, not a question. She was already cutting his jacket off, exposing the torn flesh underneath. Through and through or lodged. Graze. Lucky, her hands moved fast, efficient, probing the wound with a gentleness that surprised him. 1/4 inch to the left, you would have brachial artery damage. 3 inches down, subclavian, you would be dead before the ambulance arrived. You see a lot of gunshot wounds. This is Boston, yes. She looked up then, meeting his eyes. Brown, clear, unflinching. Are you going to tell me who shot you, or do I report unknown assailant? Unknown. She held his gaze for a moment longer, reading him, then nodded once and went back to work. I will need to irrigate this. It is going to hurt. It did, but he had been through worse. Fallujah, Ramadi. The first time Vin made him watch an enforcement gone wrong. Pain was just information, your body telling you that you are still alive. I am Natalie Pierce, she said while she worked, making conversation, keeping him focused on something other than the sting of saline. Emergency medicine, been here 5 years. Marcus. I know who you are, she started suturing, quick, precise stitches. I have seen your picture, charity events, fundraisers, your family has a reputation. I am trying to change that reputation. By getting shot. By not shooting back. She paused, just for a second, then continued stitching. That is different. Over the next 3 months, he came back 4 more times. Knife wound from breaking up a bar fight his guys started. Broken ribs from enforcing his no-drugs policy on soldiers who thought they knew better. Concussion from a car accident that was not an accident. His brakes had been cut. Vin's people, he found out later, testing him, seeing if he would retaliate the old way. He did not. He took the message and kept moving forward. Every time, Natalie treated him. No questions, no judgment, just steady hands and a competence that came from putting bodies back together faster than the city could break them. The 4th visit, she spoke first. You keep getting hurt stopping violence, not causing it. That is the job. Your job is getting hurt. My job is making sure other people do not. She studied him while she wrapped his ribs, taped tight enough to support the cracked bone, but loose enough to let him breathe. You are trying to change something that does not want to change. Yes. That is either brave or stupid. Probably both. The corner of her mouth twitched, almost a smile. He had not seen her smile before. It changed her face, made her look younger, less tired. Like maybe underneath the exhaustion was a person who still believed good things could happen. There is a cafeteria downstairs, he said. The words came out before he could stop them. Would you have dinner with me? She raised an eyebrow. Is that how mob bosses ask women out? I would not know. I have never done this before. Asked someone to dinner. Been a mob boss. He met her eyes. I am a Marine who inherited something I do not want, and I am trying not to be what my father was, that is all. Natalie was quiet for a long moment. He could see her weighing it, calculating risk. She was smart enough to know his world was dangerous, smart enough to know getting close to him meant becoming a target. No bodyguards, she said finally. No business talk. Just 2 people eating terrible hospital food. Deal. They ate in the cafeteria. Terrible hospital food, like she promised. rubbery chicken and overcooked vegetables and coffee that tasted like burnt dirt. He told her about Iraq, not the combat, the people. Kids who wanted chocolate and soccer balls. Families trying to survive in a war zone they did not ask for. The translator who saved his unit 3 times before an IED killed him on a Thursday morning when the sky was so blue it hurt to look at. She told him about medical school, 300,000 in debt, 80-hour weeks, patients who came in broken and left worse, the ones she could not save, the father who died from a heart attack during her 2nd year, how she almost quit but kept going because someone had to. They did not talk about his father, or her fear, or the 100 reasons this was a terrible idea. They just talked, like normal people, like 2 humans who found each other in the middle of chaos and decided maybe the chaos could wait. He asked her out again the next week, and the week after that, coffee before her shift, lunch during his meetings, dinner in public places where Vin's guys could not watch without being obvious. Parks, churches, hospital grounds, neutral zones. After 2 months, she let him kiss her. Behind the hospital, where the ambulances parked and the night shift smoked cigarettes, and nobody paid attention to 2 people stealing a moment of softness in a hard world. After 4 months, she met his mother. Angela hated her on sight. Too independent, too educated, too much her own person. Not the kind of woman who would bow her head and accept the life, but Marcus did not care. He was 33 years old and had never felt this way before. Like maybe there was a future that did not end in prison or a bullet. Like maybe he could build something good out of all this rot. After 8 months, Natalie found out she was pregnant. She discovered it on a Tuesday, routine physical. The hospital required them annually. She almost skipped it, too busy, too many patients, but her supervisor insisted. The blood test came back with results that stopped her heart. 6 weeks. She stared at the paper in her hand, in the same exam room where she had treated gunshot wounds and overdoses and beaten wives who would not press charges. Pregnant, with the child of a man who lived in a world that ate people alive. She should have been terrified. Part of her was, but another part, the part that still believed in miracles despite everything medicine had shown her, felt something else. Hope. She planned to tell him that night, made his favorite dinner. Chicken parmesan, the way his mother used to make it before arthritis made her hands too stiff to cook. Set candles on the table in her tiny apartment. Practiced the words in her head a dozen different ways. But before she could say anything, his phone rang. Vin, emergency meeting. He had to go. I will be back in 2 hours, he promised, kissed her forehead. Then we talk. I want to tell you something important. She watched him leave, watched the door close, touched her stomach where their child was growing. 2 hours, she thought. She could wait 2 hours. Marcus arrived at the meeting place expecting business. Territory dispute. Commission issue. Something mundane. Instead, he found Vin alone. No soldiers, no witnesses. Just the 2 of them in a warehouse by the docks where the water smelled like oil and dead fish. We need to talk, Vin said. His voice carried weight, the kind that came before bad news. About the doctor. Marcus went still, carefully still, the way Marines are taught when ambush is possible. What about her? I know you are serious. I know you are thinking long-term. Vin pulled out his phone, showed pictures. Natalie leaving the hospital, Natalie at the grocery store, Natalie at Marcus's apartment. You are getting careless, and careless gets people killed. Are you threatening her? I am warning you. Vin put the phone away. In this life, we do not get families outside the organization. They become vulnerabilities, targets. You want her safe, you have 2 choices. Bring her all the way in, make her untouchable as the Don's wife, or end it. Now, before the other families notice. The math was simple, brutal. Marry her, trap her forever in his world. Or push her away, let her have a life. Let her be free. She is a doctor, Marcus said quietly. She saves lives. I will not destroy hers. Then you know what you have to do. He did. God help him, he did. Vin was not finished. There is something else. The commission is losing faith. Your reforms are bleeding money, paying workers fair wages, refusing protection fees. We are weaker now than we have been in 20 years. They want results or they want new leadership. They agreed to 2 years. Plans change. You have 6 months. Show strength or step down. Those are your options. Vin moved closer. I am trying to help you, Marcus. Your father asked me to protect you. That is what I am doing. But you are making it impossible. Marcus thought about Natalie, about the future he wanted, about 200 families who would suffer if he walked away, about his mother and his name and the crown he never asked for. I need time to think. You have 24 hours. After that, I cannot hold the commission back. He left the warehouse, drove to Natalie's apartment, sat in his car for 30 minutes rehearsing words he did not want to say. Through her window, he could see candlelight, dinner waiting, her shadow moving in the kitchen. She was going to tell him something important. He could feel it, something good, something that would make this even harder. But he was a Marine. He knew about hard choices, about sacrificing the one for the many, about doing what needed to be done even when it destroyed you. He went inside. Natalie turned when he entered, smiled, that smile that made her look younger. You are back early. I made chicken parmesan. I cannot do this anymore. The smile died. What? This relationship. Us. I thought I could balance both worlds, but I cannot. You are a target because of me, and I will not risk your life for my own happiness. She stared at him. He watched understanding move across her face. Shock, hurt, anger. So you are just ending it, no discussion. There is nothing to discuss. The FBI is building a case against me. In 2 years, maybe less, I will be in prison. You deserve better than that. That is my choice to make. Not when your safety is at stake. He moved toward the door, could not look at her. If he looked, he would break. Forget me, move on, find someone who can give you a real life. Marcus, her voice cracked. He had never heard her voice crack before. Please. He stopped, hand on the doorknob, every instinct screaming to turn around, to tell her the truth, to explain that he was protecting her the only way he knew how. But Vin was right. In his world, love was a weakness, and weakness got people killed. I am sorry, he said, then left. He did not hear her crying through the door, did not see her sink to the floor, hand pressed to her stomach where their child grew, did not know she had been about to tell him, about to give him the one thing that might have made him stay. He got in his car and drove. No destination. Just drove until Boston blurred around him and the pain in his chest felt like drowning. Behind the scenes, he worked. Anonymous donations to cover her medical expenses. Quiet phone calls to make sure her next promotion went through. Soldiers stationed near her apartment building, undercover, watching for threats. He protected her the only way he could, from a distance, where his world could not touch her. 5 years passed like water through fingers. Marcus transitioned 60% of the family business to legitimate operations. Construction, waste management, union jobs that paid fair wages. It was slow, painful. Vin fought him at every step, but he made progress, inch by bloody inch. The FBI pressure increased. Agent Torres built her RICO case brick by brick. Wiretaps, surveillance photos, testimony from low-level soldiers who took deals. She was patient, thorough, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. His mother grew distant, disappointed. He was not the son she wanted, not the Don his father would have been proud of. And somewhere in Southie, Natalie raised a daughter alone. Isabella, Bella, 5 years old, dark hair like his, eyes like her mother. He watched from a distance, saw her first steps through surveillance photos, heard her first words through recordings he should not have had access to, knew every birthday, every Christmas, every milestone he missed. Natalie told her the truth, age-appropriate version. Your father was a good man in a bad situation. He left to protect us. She did not hate him. She understood. That made it worse somehow. If she hated him, it would be easier. Bella asked about him constantly, saw other kids with fathers and wondered why hers was missing. Natalie bought her a backpack with a sealed trident patch, told her your daddy earned this. Your daddy was brave. It was the kindest lie anyone ever told about him. Isabella's 5th birthday fell on a Saturday, warm spring day. Natalie took her to the North End for cannoli. Bella loved cannoli. Loved the cream filling and the chocolate chips and the way powdered sugar dusted her nose when she took big bites. They went to the bakery on Hanover Street, the one his family had owned for 3 generations. Marcus happened to be there, not coincidence. He made sure to be there every Saturday, just in case. He saw them through the window before they saw him. Natalie looked tired, beautiful but tired, wearing scrubs, probably came straight from a shift. Bella bounced beside her, all energy and joy and innocent questions about everything. They came inside. Bella saw him first, stared, something in her face shifted. Recognition she could not name, genetic memory, blood calling to blood. Natalie turned, froze, 5 years of distance between them, 5 years of words unsaid. Their eyes met across the bakery. He saw her hand move instinctively, protective, shielding Bella. "Mommy, why is that man crying?" Bella's voice, clear, curious. He had not realized it, tears on his face. 5 years of grief hitting him all at once. He knelt, brought himself down to her level. "Sorry, sweetheart, you just remind me of someone." "Who?" "Someone I lost." Natalie pulled Bella away. Quick, firm, no words, just a look that said stay away from us. You made your choice. They left. He watched through the window, watched his daughter walk away, watched his chance disappear. That night, Vin showed up at his house, let himself in without knocking, dropped photos on Marcus's desk. Natalie and Bella at the bakery, time-stamped, dated. "Cute kid," Vin said. 5 years old, same age as when you two broke up. Funny coincidence. Marcus said nothing, but his hands clenched into fists. "She is yours, is she not?" Vin picked up one photo, studied it. "Look at her, she has your eyes, your jaw. DNA does not lie, Marcus." "Stay away from them." "I do not need to get near them. The FBI already knows. Agent Torres has been watching Dr. Pierce for 6 months, waiting to see if you would make contact." Vin smiled, cold, reptilian. "Congratulations, you just gave them their leverage." The room spun, all his protection, all his careful distance. Worthless. They knew. The FBI knew, which meant soon the commission would know, which meant his daughter just became a target in a war she did not even know existed. "What do you want, Vin?" "Same thing I have always wanted. For you to be the Don this family needs. Strong, feared, willing to do whatever it takes." He moved to the door, stopped. "You have 72 hours. Then I am calling a commission vote. Either you step up or you step down. And if you step down, I cannot protect your doctor and her daughter from what comes next." He left. The photos remained. Bella smiling, covered in powdered sugar, looking happy and safe and completely unaware that her father's world was about to crash down on her. Marcus picked up his phone, dialed a number he swore he would never call. Torres answered on the second ring. "I want to make a deal," he said. I am listening. Full immunity. Protection for Natalie Pierce and Isabella Santoro. In exchange, I give you Vincent Calabrese and the entire commission. Everything. Every name. Every operation. Every dirty secret from the last 40 years. Silence on the line. Then carefully, what changed? I have a daughter, and I will burn it all down before I let this world touch her. Then we have a deal, Mr. Santoro. Come in Monday morning. Bring everything. He hung up, looked at the photos one more time. Bella's face, his face, the future he sacrificed everything to protect. Monday morning, the FBI would come for him. By Monday afternoon, he would be in custody. By Monday night, the whole city would know. Don Marcus Santoro turned rat, betrayed his family, chose his daughter over the code. The crown was heavy, but watching your child walk away was heavier. He had 72 hours left as a free man. 72 hours to say goodbye to the only life he ever knew, to prepare for what came next. Prison, testimony, the destruction of everything his father built. And somewhere in Southie, Natalie put Bella to bed, read her a story, kissed her forehead, whispered that her father loved her even though he was not here. She had no idea, none of them did, that the man who walked away 5 years ago was about to walk straight into fire. For her, for their daughter, for a chance at redemption he did not deserve but would fight for anyway. Because some debts cannot be paid with money or blood or time. Some debts can only be paid with everything you are, everything you have, everything you will ever be. And Marcus Santoro was ready to pay. Monday morning comes like a sentence. Marcus stands in the same spot where he watched the FBI arrive 3 days ago, except this time he is waiting for them, duffel bag at his feet. Inside, 6 years of evidence. Ledgers, wire transfers, recorded conversations, photographs of meetings that never officially happened. The entire skeleton of the Santoro family laid bare. Every bone, every secret. His mother sits in the drawing room. She has not spoken to him since he told her what he was about to do. 72 hours of silence. She drinks her coffee and reads her paper and pretends her son is not about to destroy everything her husband built. This is how she survived 40 years as a mob wife. Denial as armor. If she does not acknowledge it, maybe it will not be real. The cars arrive at exactly 7 a.m. Federal agents are nothing if not punctual. 3 black SUVs, 12 agents, tours in the lead vehicle. She steps out wearing a suit the color of storm clouds, professional, all business. She has waited 6 years for this moment. He can see it in the way she moves. Controlled, careful, like approaching a wild animal that might still bite. He meets her at the door before she can knock. Respect, even now, even at the end. Mr. Santoro, she nods once. Short, military, maybe she served too, or maybe she just learned that brevity is power. Are you ready? No. He picks up the duffel bag, heavy with the weight of names and crimes and broken promises. But we are doing this anyway. They drive in silence. Downtown Boston, federal building, underground parking, service elevator that only stops on certain floors, everything designed to be invisible. No press, no photos, just a man walking into the machine that will grind his life into evidence and testimony and cold facts on paper. The interrogation room smells like industrial cleaner and old fear. Marcus has been in rooms like this before, on the other side of the table, watching rivals break, watching men who thought they were strong discover exactly how fragile loyalty becomes when facing 20 years in a cage. Now he is the one sitting in the chair. Torres sits across from him, opens a folder. Inside, surveillance photos, him and Vin, him and commission members, him entering buildings the FBI has been watching for a decade. They have been building this case longer than he has been Don, waiting, patient. Before we begin, she says, sliding a document across the table. Full immunity agreement, contingent on your complete cooperation. You testify against Vincent Calabrese and the commission. You provide all evidence in your possession. You answer every question we ask. In exchange, no charges filed against you, ever. He reads the contract, legal language that amounts to a simple transaction, his soul for his daughter's safety. What about Natalie Pierce, my daughter? Witness protection if needed. New identities, relocation, we keep them safe. I do not want WITSEC. He looks up, meets her eyes. They stay in Boston, they keep their names, their lives, you protect them here. That is harder to guarantee. Then work harder, those are my terms. Tors leans back, studies him. You are in no position to negotiate. Yes, I am, because without me you have nothing. Circumstantial evidence, wiretaps that might not hold up in court. I am the only witness who can put Vin and the commission away for life, so this is the deal. Full immunity. Natalie and Bella stay in Boston, protected but not relocated. And one more thing. What? My mother, she stays in the family house. No FBI harassment, no seizure. That house has been in our family for 60 years. She dies there, in peace. Tors taps her pen against the folder. Thinking, calculating. The house we can do. Asset forfeiture usually targets the business properties anyway. As for Dr. Pierce and your daughter, we can assign protective detail. But if Vincent Calabrese or the commission comes for them, we go to WITSEC. No arguments. Agreed. She slides a pen across the table. He signs, his name in blue ink. Marcus Anthony Santoro. The last time he will write it as a free man who chose this. After today, everything he does will be because federal agents told him to. Wear this wire. Say these words. Smile for the camera while your father's legacy burns. The pen feels heavier than it should. Now, Tors opens another folder, this one thicker. Tell me about Vincent Calabrese. He talks for 6 hours. No breaks, no food, just his voice and her recorder and the slow excavation of every crime Vin committed in the name of the family. Drug shipments, extortion, assault, 3 murders Tors did not even know about, bodies in industrial zones, construction sites with fresh concrete, the ocean off Cape Cod where the current pulls everything out to sea. He tells her about Fallujah too, how Vin saved his life, how that debt became chains, how loyalty is both the best and worst quality a man can have. It saves you and destroys you in equal measure. By the time they finish, it is dark outside. His throat feels raw. His hands shake from exhaustion and adrenaline crash. But it is done. The betrayal is official, documented, recorded for a jury that will hear his voice and decide if he is believable or just another criminal trying to save himself. Tors walks him out. Different exit. Side door. No cameras. She gives him a burner phone. Memorize this number. It goes directly to me, 24 hours. If Vin or anyone from the commission contacts you, call immediately. When does this become public? We move on Calabrese in 72 hours. Simultaneous raids across 5 locations. We want the whole commission in custody before they know what is happening. Until then, you act normal. Go home. Do not change your routine. Do not tell anyone. He nods, steps into the night. Boston air smells like exhaust and the ocean and something burning, probably his bridges. You can burn a lot of bridges in 6 hours of testimony. His phone buzzes, not the burner. His real phone, text from an unknown number. We need to talk, meet me at the hospital, Natalie. His heart stops. She knows. Somehow she knows. Or maybe she does not know and just wants answers after seeing him at the bakery. Either way, this conversation is happening 3 days sooner than he planned. He drives to Boston Medical. Parks in the garage where they used to meet when they were still together. Back when stolen moments felt like rebellion instead of grief. The hospital never sleeps. Emergency lights, ambulance sirens, people rushing to save lives while others rush to take them. The duality never stops. Natalie waits outside the ER, still in scrubs. End of her shift probably. She looks tired, more than tired, worn down. Like the last 5 years ground her into something harder than what he remembers. Motherhood does that. So does single parenthood. So does raising a child whose father is alive but absent. You have been watching us, she says. Not a question, statement of fact. For 5 years. He does not deny it. Yes. The medical bills, the anonymous payments, the apartment security upgrade, that was you. Yes. My promotion 2 years ago. The board president who suddenly decided I deserved it. Your family friend. Yes. She laughs, bitter, sharp. And you thought that was protecting us, throwing money at the problem while you stayed away. I thought it was keeping you alive. He steps closer. She does not back away. Vin knows about Bella. He has known since you were pregnant. He told me to choose. Bring you into the organization or push you away. I chose to push you away because I would rather you hate me alive than love me dead. The anger in her eyes flickers, replaced by something else. Understanding maybe, or just exhaustion. She asks about you, every night before bed. Why does not Daddy live with us? Did I do something wrong? Am I the reason he left? The words hit like fists. Natalie. I told her you were a good man in a bad situation, that you left to protect us. Do you know how hard it is to defend someone who is not there, to make excuses for absence? I am sorry. Sorry does not give her a father. Her voice cracks. He has only heard her cry once before, the night he left. Sorry does not tuck her in or read her bedtime stories or show up to preschool events when all the other kids have both parents. I know. Do you? Because from where I am standing, you made a choice 5 years ago. And now you think you can just show up at a bakery and cry, and that makes it better. No, I do not think it makes anything better. He pulls out his phone, shows her the surveillance photos Vin left. Natalie and Bella at the grocery store, at the park, at school pickup. This is why I stayed away, because Vin has been watching you the whole time, waiting for me to make contact, and I finally did, at the bakery. And now everything I have been trying to prevent is about to happen. She takes the phone, scrolls through the images. Her face goes pale. He has been following us for 5 years. Since the day you moved to Southie. Why did you not tell me? Because knowing would make you a target. As long as you thought I did not care, you were safe. Vin could not use you against me if I had no connection, but I fucked up. I saw Bella and I could not hide it anymore, and now he knows. And the FBI knows, and everyone knows I have a daughter. Natalie hands the phone back. She is shaking. Hands trembling the way they do in the ER when a patient crashes, and there is nothing more to do but call time of death. What happens now? I made a deal with the FBI. I testify against Vin and the commission. Full immunity. In exchange, they protect you and Bella. You are turning on your family. You are my family. You and Bella. The organization is just an inheritance I never wanted. He reaches for her hand. She lets him. Small victory. I am going to prison probably. Even with immunity, there will be consequences. But you and Bella will be safe. That is all that matters. She looks at their joined hands. 5 years since he touched her. 5 years of distance. She is your daughter. She deserves to know you. I know. Not from surveillance photos or anonymous payments. Actually know you. Before you go to prison or get killed or whatever happens next in this nightmare you dragged us into. I am sorry, he says again, useless words, but the only ones he has. Stop apologizing and start being her father. She pulls her hand away. You have how long before this all goes public? 72 hours, maybe less. Then you have 72 hours to meet your daughter properly, to explain, to give her something to remember when you are gone. She turns toward the hospital, stops, looks back. We live at 247 Silver Street. Apartment 3B come tomorrow at 6, after her preschool. She likes mac and cheese and picture books, and when someone reads to her before bed, do not disappoint her again. She walks away, back into the hospital, back to saving strangers while her own life falls apart. He watches until she disappears through the automatic doors, then gets in his car and drives home through streets that suddenly feel foreign, like he is already a ghost haunting his own life. The next evening, he stands outside 247 Silver Street at exactly 6 p.m. Small apartment building, Southie neighborhood, working class, families, the kind of place where people know their neighbors and watch out for each other. His protection detail is here somewhere, undercover, watching, making sure Vin's people do not make a move. He climbs the stairs to 3B, knocks 3 times, soft. Natalie opens the door. You came. I said I would. You say a lot of things, but she steps aside, lets him in. The apartment is small, clean, toys in a basket by the couch. Children's drawings on the refrigerator, a life built without him, evidence of all the moments he missed, first steps, first words, first everything. Bella sits on the floor, coloring book open. She looks up when he enters, recognition in her eyes from the bakery, the crying man. Bella, Natalie says gently, this is your father, Marcus. The girl studies him, 5 years old and already wise beyond her years. Children who grow up with one parent learn early to be careful with hope. You are my daddy. He kneels, same as at the bakery, eye level. Yes. Why did you not come before? Because I was trying to keep you safe, but I was wrong. Being safe is not the same as being loved. She considers this. Mommy says you are a good man in a bad situation. Your mommy is generous. I'm a man trying to be good. That is different. Are you staying now? He looks at Natalie. She gives him nothing, no help. This is his answer to give. For a little while, then I have to go away, but I want you to know I am not leaving because of you. I am leaving to protect you. From what? From my mistakes. Bella nods slowly, then goes back to coloring. Okay, do you want to color with me? He sits on the floor. She hands him a crayon. Blue, they color in silence for a while, just existing in the same space. Father and daughter, strangers learning each other's shapes. Natalie makes dinner, mac and cheese like she promised. They eat at the small table. Bella talks about preschool, her teacher, her friends. The caterpillar they are watching turn into a butterfly. Normal things, beautiful things. The kind of conversation he never thought he would have. After dinner, Natalie says it is bedtime. Bella protests. Not tired, never tired, but her eyes are already heavy. Will you read to me? Bella asks Marcus. Mommy always reads, but maybe you could. He looks at Natalie. She nods, gives permission. They go to Bella's room. Small bed, stuffed animals, nightlight shaped like a moon. She climbs under the covers, hands him a book. This one. It is about a bear looking for home. He reads slowly, his voice rough from disuse, from 6 hours of testimony and a lifetime of saying the wrong things. But Bella does not care about his voice. She just listens, eyes getting heavier. By the last page, she is almost asleep. He sets the book down, starts to stand. Daddy, her voice is sleepy, soft. Yes. Will you come back tomorrow? Yes. Promise. He should not make promises he cannot keep. But looking at her face, small and trusting in his, he cannot help himself. I promise. She smiles, falls asleep just like that, instant, the way children do when they feel safe. He stands in her doorway for a long time, watching her breathe, memorizing her face. This is what he was protecting. This small person who did not ask to be born into his world but got dragged into it anyway. This is worth betraying everyone. Worth prison. Worth whatever comes next. Natalie waits in the living room. She likes you. She does not know me. She wants to. That is more than most kids whose fathers actually stuck around. She hands him a glass of water. What happens in 72 hours, really? The FBI raids the commission, arrests everyone. Vin included. I testify at trial. They go to prison. I get immunity, but there will be fallout. Retaliation, maybe. The organization will crumble. 200 families who depend on us will lose their support. That is why you stayed. The 200 families. Partly, also because walking away meant civil war. Blood in the streets. Bella growing up in a war zone. I could not risk that. Natalie sits on the couch, pats the space beside her. He sits. Careful distance between them. What do you want, Marcus? If you could have anything. This, he gestures at the apartment, the life she built. Dinner at 6, bedtime stories, waking up in the same place 2 days in a row, normal. Normal does not exist for people like us. I work 80-hour weeks putting people back together. You are a mob boss trying not to be. We are both just doing the best we can with impossible situations. I am sorry I was not there. Stop apologizing, start showing up. That is all she needs, all I need. She stands. It is late. You should go, but come back tomorrow, 6 p.m., same time. He nods, leaves, drives home with the ghost of Bella's voice in his head. Daddy, such a simple word, such a complicated wait. The next day passes in slow motion. He goes through the motions, meets with his guys, handles business, pretends everything is normal, but Vin is watching. He can feel it. The way a Marine feels enemy eyes in the dark. Vin knows something is wrong. He just does not know what yet. That night, Marcus returns to Silver Street. Bella runs to the door when he arrives, hugs his legs. You came back. I promised. They have dinner again, play with her toys. He reads another bedtime story, this time about a rabbit who gets lost but finds her way home. Bella falls asleep holding his hand. When he comes out, Natalie is waiting. She has not been this happy in months. I am sorry. I told you to stop apologizing, but there is no anger in her voice, just exhaustion. How much longer do we have? The raids happen tomorrow night. After that, everything changes. Will you be safe? Probably not, but you and Bella will be. That is what matters. She moves closer, close enough to touch. I do not forgive you for leaving, but I understand why you did. Does that make sense? Yes. Good, because I need you to understand something too. I am not doing this for you. I am doing this for Bella. She deserves a father, even one who is about to blow up his whole life. I know. Do you? She searches his face, looking for lies. Because if you walk away again after this, if you disappear the moment it gets hard, I will never forgive you, and neither will she. I am not walking away, not anymore. The burner phone buzzes in his pocket. Tours, he reads the message. Raids moved up, happening in 6 hours. They need me at the safe house now. Natalie goes pale. 6 hours. I have to go. They want me in protective custody before they move on Vin. He stands, pulls out his real phone, hands it to her. If anything happens, if Vin contacts you, if you see anyone suspicious, call Tours. Her number is programmed in. Marcus, she grabs his arm. Be careful. Always am. He moves toward the door. Stops. Tell Bella I will come back when this is over. Tell her I promise. He leaves before she can respond, before he can change his mind, before the weight of what he is about to do crushes him completely. The safe house is in Quincy. Quiet suburb. Anonymous house on an anonymous street. Torres meets him at the door. Change of plans. Calabrese knows something is happening. He called an emergency commission meeting. Tonight, neutral location. We think he is planning to move against you. So we move first. We need you to wear a wire. Get him to confess on tape. The more evidence we have, the tighter the case. He thinks of Bella sleeping in her small bed. Natalie in the apartment he should have shared with them. 200 families about to lose everything. His mother who will never speak to him again. All the dominoes about to fall. What do I say? Get him talking about the business, about your father, about the things you have been trying to change. He is angry. Angry people confess. She hands him the wire. Small, professional. This goes under your shirt, left side, over your heart. He puts it on. The adhesive sticks to his skin. Cold, invasive. This is what betrayal feels like. A recording device pressed against your chest. Stealing words to use as weapons. If he suspects anything, Torres says. If you feel unsafe, say the code phrase, Red Dawn, we will pull you out immediately. And if he has already moved against Natalie and Bella? We have protective detail on them. 4 agents. They are safe. He nods, does not believe her. In his world, no one is safe. Not really. Safety is an illusion sold to people who have never seen how fast things can fall apart. The meeting is at the docks, warehouse his father used for private conversations, neutral ground where business gets handled without witnesses. He arrives at midnight. His guys drop him off. They do not know this is the last time, that tomorrow they will wake up to news that their boss turned rat, that everything they built together is about to burn. Vin waits inside, alone, no soldiers, no witnesses, just the 2 of them and the ghost of Fallujah hanging between them. Marcus, Vin's voice echoes in the empty space. We need to talk. So talk. The commission is done with you. They voted. Unanimous, you step down or they remove you. Permanently. Let me guess, you orchestrated this. I tried to save you. For 5 years I tried, but you would not listen. You kept pushing us toward legitimacy, weakening us. Now we have lost territory to the Irish. The Russians are moving in on our waste management contracts. We are bleeding money, bleeding respect. Vin steps closer. Your father built this family on strength. You are destroying it with weakness. My father built this family on fear. I am trying to build something better. Better, Vin laughs, cold. There is no better in this life. There is survival or death, power or weakness. Your father understood that. Why cannot you? Because I have a daughter. The words come out before he can stop them. And I refuse to build her inheritance on bones. Ah, the daughter. Vin pulls out his phone, shows a photo. Recent. Bella at preschool. Beautiful kid. 5 years old, smart. Asks a lot of questions according to her teacher. Marcus's hands clench into fists. If you touch her. I do not need to touch her. She is already leverage. You know what happens if you refuse to step down. The commission votes you out, and everyone connected to you becomes collateral damage. Dr. Pierce. Little Isabella, even your mother. That is the cost of weakness, Marcus. Everyone you love pays the price. The wire records every word, every threat, but Marcus feels sick, because Vin is right. In this world, love is a weapon, and he handed Vin the ammunition. So what do you want? Marcus asks, stalling, giving Torres time to position her teams. I want you to walk away, tonight. Leave Boston, take your doctor and your kid, go somewhere far away. I take over the family, Run it the right way. The way your father would have wanted. Everyone wins. Except the 200 families who will suffer when you go back to the old ways. They will adapt, people always do. Vin moves to the window, looking out at the dark water. You saved my life once, in Fallujah, covered my exit when that building collapsed. I never forgot that. This is me returning the favor. Walk away, live, be a father, just do it somewhere else. Marcus thinks about Bella, about the promise he made. I will come back. About Natalie waiting for him to show up. About all the moments he missed and all the ones he might still have if he takes this deal. But then he thinks about the 200 families, the widows and orphans and elderly who depend on the organization. Who will be crushed when Vin brings back drugs and violence and all the things Marcus spent 5 years trying to stop? No, he says. Vin turns. No. I am not walking away. Not from the family. Not from Bella, not anymore. Then you are a dead man. Maybe, but I die standing, not running. Vin's face hardens. You are just like your father, stubborn, stupid, too proud to see when you have lost. My father died in his sleep, peacefully, because he built something that lasted. What will you build, Vin? How will you die? The question hangs in the air. For a moment, Vin looks old, tired, like the weight of 40 years in this life is finally catching up. I will die loyal, that is more than you can say. Loyalty to what? An organization, a code, or just power? All of it, everything your father believed in, everything you are betraying right now. Vin pulls a gun, slow, deliberate. Last chance, walk away or I end this. Marcus does not move, does not reach for his own weapon, just stands there. Calm, you are not going to shoot me. Why not? Because you are being recorded, and the FBI is outside, and the moment you pull that trigger, you go to prison for life. Vin's eyes widen, understanding, betrayal, rage. You are wearing a wire. Yes. You rat. Vin's hand shakes. Gun pointed at Marcus's chest, where the wire sits. After everything I did for you, saving your life, protecting you, this is how you repay me. You gave me no choice. You threatened my daughter. I gave you options. I tried to save you. Vin's voice breaks. But you are just like your father, too stupid to see when someone is trying to help. The door bursts open. FBI, 12 agents. Guns drawn, Tors at the front. Vincent Calabrese dropped the weapon. You are under arrest. Vin does not drop it, just stares at Marcus. You destroyed us. You destroyed everything. I destroyed a corrupt system. There is a difference. There is no difference, not in this world. But Vin lowers the gun, lets it fall from his hand. You are going to regret this. They all will. When the commission finds out you turned rat, they will come for everyone you love. And I will not be able to stop them, because I will be in prison because of you. Tors moves in, cuffs Vin, reads him his rights. The same speech Marcus heard in his study 5 days ago. You have the right to remain silent, as if silence could save anyone in this life. They take Vin away. Marcus stands in the empty warehouse, alone with the weight of what he just did. Betrayal complete, recorded, legal. Tors comes back. We got it all, every threat, every admission. He is going away for life. What about Natalie and Bella? Protective detail is with them now. No one gets near them. His phone rings, not the burner. His real phone, the one he gave Natalie. She is calling, at 1 a.m., which means something is wrong. He answers, Natalie. Her voice comes through, scared, shaking. They took her, they took Bella. The world stops, everything stops. What? Men, 4 of them. They came to the apartment, your protective detail. They said it was not safe, that we needed to go with them. But Marcus, they were not FBI. I saw the tattoos. I saw the guns. They took Bella and I do not know where. Torres grabs the phone. Dr. Pierce, this is Agent Torres. Where are you now? Still in the apartment. They left me here. Took only Bella. Said to tell Marcus he has 24 hours to fix this or they kill her. Torres is already on her radio. All units, code red, hostage situation, 5-year-old female, Isabella Santoro, suspected commission kidnapping. Marcus cannot breathe, cannot think. His daughter, his 5-year-old daughter who just learned his name, who fell asleep holding his hand, who he promised to come back to. Gone. His phone buzzes, text message, unknown number, photo attached. He opens it. Bella sitting in a dark room, scared but alive. Message below the photo reads, "You took our boss, we took yours, even trade. Vin goes free or the girl dies, 24 hours. The phone falls from his hand. Torres catches it, reads the message. Her face goes pale. "We will get her back," she says. But Marcus knows better. In his world, promises mean nothing. Protection means nothing. The only thing that matters is power, and he just gave all his power away. For what? Justice, redemption, a chance at being a father. He falls to his knees, the wire still pressed against his heart, recording his breakdown, recording the moment he realizes that trying to be good in a bad world only gets the innocent killed. Bella's voice in his head, "Will you come back tomorrow?" "I promise." He broke that promise, and now his daughter will pay the price. The warehouse floor is cold. Marcus kneels on concrete that smells like oil and salt water and the death of everything he tried to build. Torres stands over him, radio crackling, voices shouting coordinates and addresses and tactical positions, the FBI machine grinding into motion. Too slow, always too slow. His daughter has been gone for 17 minutes. In 17 minutes, they could have driven her to New Hampshire, Connecticut, anywhere. The math is simple and brutal. Every second that passes is another mile between him and Bella, another mile closer to never. "We have units mobilizing," Torres says. Her voice is professional, controlled, like this is just another case, just another kidnapping, not his 5-year-old daughter who still sleeps with a nightlight shaped like the moon. "We will find her." He does not believe her, cannot believe her. The FBI moves through channels, warrants, protocols. His world moves faster, messier. No rules except the ones written in blood. His phone rings again. Natalie, third time in 5 minutes, he answers. "Did they find her?" Her voice is breaking. Shattering into pieces he cannot put back together through a phone line. "Marcus, please tell me they found her." "Not yet." It has been 20 minutes. 20 minutes. She is 5 years old and she is scared and she does not understand what is happening. Natalie is crying now, full sobs, the kind that come from a place beyond pain. "This is your world. Your people did this. So fix it, fix it." "I will." "How? How are you going to fix this when you are standing in a warehouse with the FBI, while our daughter is God knows, where with God knows who?" "Our daughter," she said, "our daughter. 5 years of raising Bella alone and she still includes him, still calls him father even when his failures are stealing their child." "I am going to get her back," he says, promises, even though promises in his world are worth less than the air used to speak them. "I swear to you, Natalie, I will bring her home." He hangs up, stands. Torres is still on her radio, still coordinating, still moving through the machine. He pulls out the burner phone, dials a number he memorized in Iraq, when Vin was still his brother, before betrayal became the language they spoke. The prison picks up, county lockup, where they are holding Vin until arraignment. "I need to speak to Vincent Calabrese, visitor, emergency." Tors looks up. What are you doing? My job, protecting my family. You cannot negotiate with them. We have protocols. Your protocols will get my daughter killed. He meets her eyes. I need 20 minutes with Vin, face to face. No recording, no wire, just two men talking. Absolutely not. You are a material witness. You do not get unsupervised contact with the defendant. Then my daughter dies. Because the people who took her do not care about your protocols. They care about leverage. And right now I am the only leverage that matters. Tors hesitates. He can see the calculation behind her eyes. Risk versus reward. Breaking protocol versus saving a child. She is a federal agent. But she is also a woman who lost a cousin to mob violence. Who understands that sometimes the book does not have answers. 20 minutes, she says finally. But I am coming with you. You try anything, I shut it down. They drive in silence. Boston at 2 a.m. Empty streets, closed shops. The city sleeping while his daughter is awake somewhere. Scared, calling for a father who is not there. Again, always again. County lockup smells like disinfectant and desperation. Tors flashes her badge. They are led through security. Metal detectors. Pat downs, doors that lock behind them with sounds like coffins closing. Vin waits in an interview room, orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed to the table. He looks smaller somehow. Prison does that, strips away the armor, shows the man underneath. Marcus, Vin's voice is flat, empty. Come to gloat. They took Bella. Vin goes still. Who? I do not know. Commissioned soldiers probably. They sent a photo. 24 hours to release you or she dies. And you think I can help you? I think you are the only one who can. Marcus sits across from him, close enough to see the lines around Vin's eyes, the gray in his hair. 45 years old and looking 60. This life ages you, grinds you down until there is nothing left but the weight of what you have done. You know who is loyal to the commission, who would move this fast, where they would take a child. Vin leans back, studies Marcus like a problem to solve. Why would I help you? You destroyed me, put me in here, took everything I built. Because you are not a monster. You saved my life in Fallujah. You protected my father. You have lines you do not cross. And taking a 5-year-old child is across that line. You do not know what lines I have anymore. Yes, I do. I know you, Vin. Better than anyone. We were brothers once, before everything else. Before the business and the betrayals and all the ways we failed each other. We were brothers. And brothers protect children. Always. Vin is quiet for a long time. Tors shifts in her corner. Hand on her weapon. Waiting for this to go wrong. It probably will. Everything in Marcus's life goes wrong eventually. But he has to try. Has to believe that somewhere underneath the criminal is the man who pulled him from burning metal. The man who kept his word even when it cost him. Angelo Martelli, Vin says finally. Commissioned soldier, old school. He has a warehouse in Revere, by the salt marshes. Used it for interrogations before you shut that operation down. If they took your daughter, that is where she will be. Marcus stands. Thank you. Do not thank me. This does not make us even. Does not erase what you did. I know. But Marcus, Vin looks up, eyes hard. When you get her back, you owe me truth. Why did you really turn? It was not just about protecting her. There is more. After, when she is safe, I will tell you everything. Tors is already on her radio, calling in the address, mobilizing SWAT, but Marcus knows the math. SWAT takes time. Staging, planning, Bella does not have time. He leaves the prison, Tors follows. We go in tactical, full team, do this right. How long to stage? 2 hours minimum. She does not have 2 hours. They will hear you coming. Kill her and run. That is how this works. Then what do you suggest? I go in alone. No sirens, no lights, just me. That is suicide. Maybe, but it is also the only chance she has. Tours stops walking. They are in the parking lot. Sodium lights turning everything the color of old bones. You are not trained for hostage rescue. I am a Marine. I did 2 tours in Iraq. I have breached more doors than your entire SWAT team combined. He opens his car. You want to save her, you let me do this my way. You want to follow protocol, I will be bringing her body home in 2 hours. She could stop him, arrest him for obstruction, throw him in a cell next to Vin, but she does not. She reaches into her jacket, pulls out her backup weapon. Glock 19, hands it to him. You have 1 hour head start. Then we are coming in full force. Do not get yourself killed. Your daughter needs a father, not a martyr. He takes the gun, checks the magazine. 15 rounds, enough. It has to be enough. The drive to Revere takes 30 minutes. He parks 3 blocks away, approaches on foot. The warehouse sits between the marsh and the interstate, isolated. Perfect for things you do not want witnesses to see. 2 cars outside, lights on in the windows. 3 men probably, maybe 4. Standard crew for a kidnapping. He circles the building, looking for entry points. Back door, rusted lock, old. He remembers Iraq. Breaching houses in Fallujah, the weight of the door, the angle you hit it, the speed you need to clear a room before they can react. This is different. In Iraq, he had a squad, cover fire, backup. Here he is alone with 15 bullets and a promise he will probably die keeping. He thinks of Bella, asleep on his lap while he read to her, her small hand in his. The way she said "daddy like it" was a magic word that could fix anything. He has to believe it can fix this. Has to believe that being her father is worth more than all his failures combined. He kicks the door, wood splinters, old hinges give. He is inside before the sound stops echoing. Narrow hallway, boxes stacked, smell of mold and something worse. Blood maybe, old blood. This place has seen violence before, we'll see it again tonight. Voices ahead, 2 men, arguing. The boss said no harm until the deadline. We have 18 hours still. Kid will not stop crying, driving me crazy. Bella crying, scared, calling for her mother probably, or maybe for him. Daddy, where are you? Why are you not here? He moves quiet. Marines call it tactical movement. Heel to toe, weight distributed. No sound, first doorway, storage, empty. Second doorway, office, desk, papers, photo on the wall, Angelo Martelli, 50s, gray hair, dead eyes, commission enforcer. The kind of man who does what he is told without questions, without conscience. Third doorway, voices louder. He edges around the frame, sees inside. 2 men, young, 20s, soldiers trying to make names for themselves. Bella sits in the corner, zip tied to a chair, face red from crying. She sees him. Eyes go wide. He puts a finger to his lips. Silent, she understands. Smart kid, her mother's daughter. She goes quiet. The men do not notice, too busy arguing. He raises the Glock, aims at the first one, center mass, the way they teach you, then hesitates. These are kids, stupid kids, making stupid choices. If he shoots them, Bella sees, watches her father kill. That image will stay with her forever. Color every memory of him, Daddy the killer, Daddy the monster. He lowers the gun, steps into the room. Let her go. They spin, reach for weapons. He is faster. Glock trained on the bigger one, the one who looks like he makes decisions. I said let her go, untie her, now. You are Marcus Santoro. The big one tries to sound tough, fails, his voice shakes. You are supposed to be with the FBI. I was. Now I am here. And you have 5 seconds to untie my daughter before I put bullets in both of you. Angelo said no one gets hurt. Where is Angelo? Gone, left us here to watch the kid. Coward, Angelo is a coward. Left children to guard a child. Typical commission, all violence, no honor. Marcus moves closer, gun steady. Untie her. The smaller one moves, pulls a knife, cuts the zip ties. Bella rubs her wrists. Red marks where the plastic bit into skin. She is shaking, terrified, but alive. Alive. Come here, sweetheart. He does not take his eyes off the men. Walk to me slowly. Bella stands, legs unsteady. She walks toward him, 1 step, 2, 3, he wants to grab her. Run, but the men still have weapons, still have choices to make, good ones or bad ones. They choose bad. The big one reaches for his gun. Marcus fires. Single shot. Shoulder, not center mass, not lethal. The man drops, screaming. The smaller one freezes, hands up. Smart, Marcus says. Stay smart. He backs toward the door. Bella pressed against his side. She is crying again. Quiet tears. The kind children cry when they are too scared to make sound. He gets her outside. Fresh air, night sky, freedom. It is okay, he whispers. You are safe now, Daddy has you. She does not answer, just holds onto his jacket. Shaking, this will hurt her, scar her. She will have nightmares, questions, fears, but she is alive. That is all that matters. Alive means there is time to heal. Dead is forever. He carries her to the car, buckles her in, calls tours. I have her, warehouse on Marsh Road, 2 suspects inside, 1 injured, send ambulances. You went in alone. I got her back. You could have been killed. But I was not, and neither was she. He hangs up, looks at Bella in the rearview mirror. Are you hurt? Did they hurt you? She shakes her head, still crying, still shaking. I am taking you to your mother now, and then I am going to make sure this never happens again. I promise. Promises, he keeps making them, keep breaking them, but this one he will keep, even if it destroys him. Natalie meets them at the hospital. She is out of the car before he fully stops, rips open the back door, pulls Bella into her arms, holds her so tight it must hurt, but Bella does not complain, just cries into her mother's shoulder. Safe, home. Marcus stands back, gives them space. This is their moment, mother and daughter. He is just the man who brought them back together, the man whose world tore them apart. Natalie looks at him over Bella's head, mouths 2 words, thank you. He nods, gets back in his car, drives away before the FBI arrives, before Tors can arrest him for going rogue, before he has to explain that sometimes the only way to save someone is to become the thing you hate. The trial takes 6 months, federal courthouse. RICO charges against the commission, Vincent Calabrese and 4 other bosses. Marcus testifies for 3 days, tells the jury everything, every crime, every murder, every deal made in backrooms with blood on the table. Vin does not look at him, not once, sits at the defense table staring straight ahead, stone-faced, the way Marines are taught, show nothing, give nothing, survive. The jury deliberates for 2 days, comes back with a verdict, guilty on all counts. Vin gets 25 years, federal prison, no parole, he will die inside, they both know it. Men like Vin do not survive 25 years. The weight crushes them, turns them old and hollow. The judge asks if Marcus has anything to say before sentencing. He stands, looks at Vin, finally meets his eyes. I want the court to know that Vincent Calabrese saved my life. In Fallujah, Iraq, 2004. He pulled me from a burning vehicle under enemy fire. He did not have to. He was a civilian contractor, but he did it anyway, because my father asked him to, because he is a man who keeps his word. Marcus pauses. He is also a man who chose violence over change, who threatened my daughter, who built his honor on other people's suffering. Both things are true. He is a hero and a criminal. And I will spend the rest of my life trying to understand how someone can be both. The judge sentences him anyway. 25 years. Vin is led away. He stops at the door, looks back. One last look. Not forgiveness, not understanding, just acknowledgement. Two men who were brothers, who saved each other, who destroyed each other. The end. Marcus's sentencing comes next. Despite the immunity deal, there are consequences. Federal judge does not like mob bosses walking free, even ones who cooperate. So Marcus pleads guilty to racketeering, takes a deal. 5 years federal prison, minimum security, credit for cooperation, out in 3 if he behaves. Natalie sits in the gallery, Bella beside her. His daughter is 6 now, still has nightmares, still sees a therapist twice a week, but she is healing. Children are resilient that way. They break and rebuild stronger. The judge asks Marcus if he has anything to say. Yes, Your Honor, he stands. I inherited an organization built on fear. I tried to change it. Failed. But I did succeed in one thing. I protected my daughter. And I dismantled an empire that hurt people for 3 generations. That is not redemption, but it is a start. 5 years. He gets 5 years. Bella cries when they take him away. He hears it through the courtroom doors. Mommy, where are they taking Daddy? Why can he not come home? Natalie's voice. Calm, strong. He is going somewhere to think about his choices, baby. But he will come back, I promise. Prison is exactly what he expected. Walls, bars, men who made bad choices. He works in the kitchen, leadership role. The warden notices he is good with people, gives him responsibility. Other inmates respect him, not because he was a mob boss, because he is fair, consistent, treats everyone the same. He calls Bella every Sunday, 15 minutes, supervised. She tells him about school, friends, books she is reading. He tells her he is proud, that he loves her, that he is counting the days until he comes home. Natalie visits monthly, never misses, brings photos, updates. She does not forgive him, not fully, but she understands. And understanding is sometimes more than forgiveness. It is acceptance, moving forward despite the weight of the past. Court-mandated therapy. Dr. Raymond Chen, specialist in PTSD and moral injury. They talk about Iraq, about his father, about the impossible math of choosing between 200 families and his own happiness. You keep saying you failed, Dr. Chen observes during year 1. But you are alive. Your daughter is safe. The organization is dismantled. How is that failure? Because people got hurt. Families lost their support. I broke everything my father built. Your father built an empire on suffering. You ended that suffering. That is not destruction. That is liberation. Marcus wants to believe it, but the guilt sits heavy. 200 families, widows, orphans, people who depended on the Santoro name for protection. What happens to them now? What did you arrange before you went to trial? Trust fund, legitimate, funded by the legal businesses, managed by Father Russo and a board. They get support for 10 years while they transition to regular jobs. So you did not abandon them. You gave them a better option, legal support instead of criminal dependency. Dr. Chen leans forward. That sounds like success to me. It does not feel like success. Because you are still carrying your father's crown, the belief that you have to sacrifice yourself for everyone. But Marcus, you can only save people who want to be saved. And you can only do it by showing them a better way. Not by being their king, by being their example. The words sit with him. He thinks about them at night, during kitchen shifts, during the long, empty hours when there is nothing to do but examine every choice he ever made. Year 2, Dr. Chen pushes deeper. Tell me about the moment you decided to wear the wire. What were you thinking? That I had no choice. Vin threatened Bella. The commission was closing in. It was testify or watch my daughter die. But you had other choices. You could have killed Vin, started a war, taken Bella and run. Why did you choose the FBI? Marcus considers this. Because war would have destroyed the neighborhood. Innocent people caught in crossfire. Running would have made us targets forever. The FBI was the only option that ended it. Clean, legal, permanent. So you chose the hardest path, the one that cost you the most. Why? Because it was right. And that matters to you, being right, even when it destroys you. Yes. Dr. Chen makes a note. Your father chose power, you chose principle. That is the difference between you. That is why you are not him, and why you will never be him, no matter how much you fear it. Something breaks open in Marcus's chest. He cries for the first time since Bella was kidnapped. Not silent tears, full sobs, the kind that come from a place he has been avoiding for 38 years. Dr. Chen hands him tissues. Waits. When Marcus can speak again, he says, I was so afraid of becoming him, of hitting my daughter the way he hit me, of building my honor on her fear. And did you? No, I left her instead, which is worse. Is it? She is alive, healthy, being raised by a mother who loves her, seeing a father who is trying to be better. That is not worse, Marcus. That is different, imperfect, but not worse. Year 3, early release hearing. Good behavior. Cooperation. The warden testifies on his behalf, says Marcus is a model prisoner, helps other inmates, mediates conflicts, shows genuine remorse. The parole board agrees. Conditional release. 10 years probation. Cannot leave Massachusetts. Regular check-ins with federal probation officer. Any violation sends him back inside. He walks out on a Tuesday. Spring morning. Natalie and Bella waiting outside the gates. His daughter is 9 now, taller, hair longer. She runs to him, hugs him so hard he stumbles. Daddy, you are home. I am home. Natalie hangs back. Careful. They have not been together in 8 years. Not really. Visits do not count. Phone calls do not count. This is the first time since he left that they are standing in the same space without bars between them. Thank you for bringing her, he says. She would not let me leave her behind. Natalie studies his face. You look different. Prison does that. No, not prison. You look lighter somehow, like you put down something heavy. The crown. I put down the crown. She understands, nods. Good, it never fit you anyway. They do not get back together, not romantically. Too much history, too much hurt, but they co-parent. He gets Bella every other weekend. Wednesday dinners, holidays they split. It is not perfect. Nothing is perfect, but it is real, honest. Two people trying their best with an impossible situation. Marcus gets a job. North End Community Center. Father Russo arranged it. Teaching at-risk youth. Job skills. Conflict resolution. How to walk away from the life before it swallows you whole. He is good at it. These kids see him. See someone who lived the life and survived. Who made terrible choices and is trying to make better ones. One student asks during group session, Mr. Santoro, why should we listen to you? You are an ex-con. Exactly. I know what happens when you think crime is the only option. It is not. There are always other choices. Harder choices, but they exist. You went to prison anyway. Because I made those choices too late. I am here to help you make them earlier, so you do not waste 5 years like I did. The kid thinks about it, nods slowly, comes back next week, and the week after, stays out of trouble, gets his GED. It is a small victory, but small victories add up. Enough of them and you build something that matters. Years pass like water. Bella turns 13. then 15, then 18, college applications. She wants political science, criminal justice, wants to work in reform, help people trapped in systems they did not create. Marcus sits with her while she writes her personal statement. Write about what you know, he suggests, what you have lived. I am writing about you. Bella. Not the crime, the choice, how you chose to be different, how that choice cost you everything but was still right. She looks at him. Is that okay? Yes, that is more than okay. Graduation day, Bella in cap and gown, valedictorian. She gives a speech to 200 people. Marcus sits in the audience, Natalie beside him. They are not together, but they are here, both of them, for their daughter. They say we are shaped by our parents, Bella begins. And I am, but not the way you think. My father was a criminal, that is public record. Google Marcus Santoro and you will see it. RICO conviction, 5 years federal prison. But here is what you will not see. The choice he made to dismantle his own empire, to protect me at the cost of everything else. To show me that who you are is not about what you inherit. It is about what you build after. She looks at him, holds his eyes. I grew up visiting my father in prison, and you know what we talked about, not crime, not regret. We talked about choice. He told me you are not defined by your worst moment. You are defined by what you do next. That is my father's legacy, not the empire he destroyed, the choice to be better, and I am going to spend my life honoring that choice. The audience applauds. Marcus cannot see them. His eyes are too full. Natalie reaches over, takes his hand. First time in 13 years, she does not let go. After the ceremony, families take photos. Bella stands between them. Marcus and Natalie, not together, not apart. Just two people who made a child and somehow managed to raise her right despite everything. I am proud of you, Marcus tells Bella. I am proud of you too, Dad. Dad, not Daddy. She is too old for that now. Too grown. But the word still carries weight, still means something. He is her father, failed father, absent father, criminal father, but father nonetheless. And she loves him anyway. That night, Marcus stands in his small apartment. 1 bedroom, North End, same neighborhood where he grew up, where his father built an empire, where it all began and ended. He looks out at Boston. City lights like stars fallen to earth. So many people, so many lives, most of them will never know his name, never know what he did or what he sacrificed. That is okay. He is not looking for recognition, not looking for forgiveness, just trying to live, one day at a time, making better choices, teaching kids who remind him of himself, being there for his daughter when she needs him. The crown is gone, the empire is dust, all that remains is a man, 51 years old, gray hair more silver than black now, scars from Iraq and prison and 13 years carrying weight too heavy for any one person, but alive, free, choosing every day to be better than he was. His phone rings. Bella. Dad, can you help me move into my dorm tomorrow? Mom said she will help, but I want you there too. Of course. What time? 9 a.m. Is that too early? I will be there at 8. She laughs. You do not have to be early. I want to be. I have missed too many mornings already. Okay, 8 it is. Love you, Dad. Love you too, sweetheart. He hangs up. Tomorrow he will help his daughter start college. A new chapter. Boston University, political science major. She wants to change the criminal justice system from the inside. Help people like her father. People who made mistakes but deserve second chances. That is redemption, not erasing the past, not pretending it did not happen, but building something better on top of the ruins, teaching the next generation to choose differently, to break cycles, to refuse the crown when it is offered. The debts we inherit are not the debts we have to keep. We can choose to pay them differently, not with blood or loyalty or violence, but with truth, with change, with the hard work of being better than what came before. Marcus Santoro was a mob boss, a criminal, a man who made terrible choices, but he was also a father who chose his daughter over everything, a man who testified against his brothers, who dismantled an empire to protect one small life, who went to prison and came out trying to help others avoid his mistakes. Both things are true. He is guilty and redeemed, failed and trying, lost and found. And that is enough. It has to be enough. The next morning, Marcus arrives at Bella's apartment at 7:55, early like he promised. Natalie is already there. They work together, carrying boxes, laughing at Bella's complaints about how much stuff she accumulated, normal parent things, the kind he missed for so many years. The dorm room is small, cinder block walls, twin bed, desk, window overlooking the campus. Bella stands in the center, looking around, eyes bright with possibility. "This is it," she says, "my first step toward changing the world." Marcus and Natalie exchange glances, proud, terrified, the way all parents feel when their children leave. "You are going to do great things," Marcus tells her. "I believe that." "I learned from the best." Bella hugs him, then Natalie. "Both of you showed me that people can change, that mistakes do not define you, that choosing better is always possible." After they finish unpacking, Marcus and Natalie walk back to the parking lot together. Silent, comfortable silence, the kind that comes from shared history. "She is going to be okay," Natalie says. "Better than okay. She is going to be extraordinary." "Like her father." Marcus stops, looks at her. "I was a criminal, Natalie. I destroyed lives. You were a man in an impossible situation who chose the hardest path. The right path, that is extraordinary." She touches his arm. Brief. "Thank you for fighting for her, for doing the work, for being here." "I should have been here all along." "Maybe, but you are here now. That is what matters." They part ways. He drives back to his apartment. Small, quiet, but his, earned through years of choices, good and bad, mostly bad, but trending toward better. The city lights blur. He thinks about Bella, about the future she will build, about the lives she will change, about the legacy that matters, not the empire, not the violence, just the choice. The daily choice to be good in a world that rewards being bad. That is the legacy that matters, not what we inherit, but what we choose to build, what we choose to become, what we teach our children is possible. The debts are paid, the crown is broken, the empire is dust. All that remains is love, and choice, and the hope that it is enough. It is enough. This story is fictional. Organized crime is not romantic. It destroys lives, families, and communities. The consequences depicted here are real. If you or someone you know is struggling with gang involvement or needs support leaving criminal organizations, help is available. If you are a veteran dealing with PTSD, moral injury, or transition challenges, resources exist. If you have made mistakes and seek a second chance, redemption is possible. But it requires choice. Every day, choose better. National Gang Exit Hotline, 1-800-799-72-33. Veterans Crisis Line, 988, then press 1. SAMHSA National Helpline, 1-800-662-4357. For those carrying the weight of the past, you are not defined by your worst moment. You are defined by what you do next. That choice is always available, always. Thanks for listening to Marcus's story. Here's what keeps me up at night. When does protecting the people you love become the very thing that destroys them? Marcus spent 5 years watching his daughter from the shadows, thinking distance would keep her safe. He was wrong. I want to hear from you veterans and fathers out there. Have you ever had to choose between duty and family? Between the code you swore to uphold and the people who need you most? Drop your thoughts below, no judgment, just honest conversation. If this story hit you, part 2 drops next week. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens when the FBI comes knocking.